Hello, my fellow patriots. This is Alex with another Disabled Vet's Perspective. And I've been listening to some of the people that I sub to on their tube and come up with an interesting synopsis, I guess, of what I've been hearing. We got this little thing called inequality. It's mostly an illusion, but it's pushed pretty hard by the left. And they want us to assume that women are absolutely at the bottom of the food chain. And me personally, I've worked with women that are a lot tougher than the men that I also worked with. So I don't believe the inequality stuff quite as much. So, it's an illusion. But what I've come up with is they've done a study and they found out that young men aren't seeking long-term relationships, especially marriage. And they're saying that because of this new women's push, this social justice warrior effect, where women need to shed the men around them and become independent and all the other things that come with it. It's just the men are starting to feel like the women aren't women anymore because they're spending so much time trying to be exactly like the men around them. And, I've got a strong woman as a wife, and I'm glad of that. She's very independent. She goes on long trips to spend time with her family, and 30 days at a time. And after she's gone for 3 days, I'm beating my head against the wall, but she functions fairly well, and she's independent, and that's good. But she's also 5'2", soft and squishy and cuddleable, so that helps too. So she's a strong woman with a soft side. But the point I'm making is the push for this equality is also seeming to want to be changing the men into women, and they're coming up with these soft-sided soy boy type of thing where they want the men to be more feminine and they want them to be more like women. And what I'm wondering is, if we're looking to turn all the men into women and all the women into men, are we doing that so that we can meet up with this equality thing? If you can't make the women equal, then you just change everybody's gender, and then the powerful men that they complain about are no longer men, they're women. And the weak women, I guess they would call them weak, but the real women that want to be hugged and cuddled by men and are not ashamed of having a strong man in their life, or they want to turn them into men. That way, when the time comes, they can say, yeah, of course everybody's equal. The women are making more money than the men, when in turn they're really not. They're just turning the men that are making more money than the women, they're turning them into the women. So it's a push to flip gender, and it's pathetic. I mean, I'm 47 years old. I come from a different time in this world where we were taught you open doors and hold them for the women, and you treat them with respect. You protect them, but you also teach them how to protect themselves so that they have an option. If they want to be coddled, then that should be an option. But they should also be able to turn that shit on if they become accosted by somebody. They need to be able to stand up and put that down. And that's another thing I'm proud of with my wife. When we first got married, she weighed about 82 pounds. And she was a very petite, very small person and it concerned me because you could just about pick her up, put her in a pocket, and run off with her. So I spent a lot of time in the first couple of years of our marriage teaching her self-defense. And now, even though she's 5'2", I don't worry about her. Uh, Obviously, if anybody did anything to hurt her, then God himself would not be able to stop the wrath that I would bring upon the world in order to make sure that person was punished. But I'm comfortable in the fact that when she goes off to Arkansas for a month at a time to spend it with her mother and her grandmother, that if they go out into town, I don't worry about her. I know that she's very capable of defending herself, even against a person that's 3 or 4 times her size. I just don't worry about it. And that's the way it should be. Women need to be women, but they also need to be strong enough to defend against the men that might try to do them harm. And men, damn it, y'all, you need to be men. You need to hold the damn door for them, and you need to treat the women with respect. Treat them as women. They don't need to be men. There's plenty of men in the world. The men that are here need to be men, and the women need to be women. So this competition to swap genders, I know it'll come to an end at some point, but I wonder how much damage will be done before that end is brought. But, you know, this is just my perspective about the way things should be. I think that we need to get back to being ourselves and identify as the people that we are. And I have no reason to be effeminate. There's plenty of women out there to do that. So women do not need to be stone cold, solid, and hard. They need to be women. But they need to be capable women. They've got to be able to take care of themselves, because there are some nasty people out here that do look at doing harm to others. So you can have a soft and cuddly, squishy wife, but you can also have a person that can turn into a little demon if they have to. And that's where I'm going with this. Let's stop swapping places, and let's all stick to who we are so that we can make this a better world and bring it back to the way it used to be. There's nothing wrong with treating a woman with respect. You're not belittling her. You're not being a sexist. You're just treating them with the respect that they deserve. So that's what I've got. I guess in opinions you can take it or leave it, but I just really feel like this is the way it should be. But anyway, if y'all like what I have to say, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that little bell if you want my notifications. They'll either come or they won't. It's a hit and miss. But until next time, y'all, you got to just stay in this fight.